broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Spotlight On, where we take an actor or actress and we spotlight them. And this one's a special GH edition. We have a person who is just doing such phenomenal work on General Hospital that we had to call him in and have him with us for the next hour. Robert Palmer Watkins.
Thank you so much. How's it going, guys? Thank you.
There you go. And of course, with me doing the Spotlight On is our GH Report co-host. Frank couldn't be here, of course, but I know he's here in spirit. We know he's here watching. But we have Lacretia Lyon next to me.
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
And Ladine Harvey, of course.
Hey guys.
Good. So now, where can I find you guys? All three of you guys, where can I find you?
All right. Of course, if you can spell my name, it is Lacretia Lyon. Well, I can't wait to quit doing that.
We'll get you famous, so everybody knows. And Robert, where can I find you?
So mine is pretty easy to spell, Robert. My Twitter is at Robert P. Watkins, and my Instagram is at Robert Palmer Watkins.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Ladine_Harvey and Facebook at Ladine Harvey.
Don't forget that underscore. And you can find me at Black Hope LA on Twitter and James Lott Jr. on Facebook. Now, you have three names. I love three names.
Yeah.
'Cause I go by James Lott Jr., which is kind of like, that's my thing. So, do you like being called Robert? Are you called Palmer in personal life? How does that work?
You know, I always introduce myself as Robert. That is my first name.
Okay.
But people end up, friends and family end up calling me Robbie. But I love the name Palmer. It's my middle name, and it was my grandfather's first name and my dad's middle name. And I don't know. I've thought about maybe changing it to my first name, but for now, I'm going to keep the Robert Palmer Watkins.
I like Palmer.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I know you're super young, but do you remember Robert Palmer?
Of course. Yeah. Simply irresistible.
and he is a singer, folks. We'll talk about that a little later. He is a singer.
Well, maybe you can give us a little bit of a...
Once again, they want you to sit a little closer to Ladine. So
all right.
I'm sorry. Should we just snuggle?
We will make sure you're seen. Marissa gave a little smile. Just make sure you're seen. Make sure you're seen.
I wish I could move. Oh, that.
There. You can't move that.
That's why I kept scooting over.
You can move the mic. It's okay. It's all right. Now we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now, you came on about 4 or 5 months ago, and did you see, this question actually comes from many people, but Jacob Marquez wanted to know also, did you see Scott Clifton's work? Or did you avoid it on purpose so you didn't?
I actually, man, it is the funniest. Another small world story.
I love it.
I was in a acting conservatory about 7 years ago in LA, and in one of my classes, our teacher happened to know Scott Clifton from past experience or something, and he had Scott Clifton come in when he was playing Dylan Quartermain and speak to us.
Oh my God!
Wow.
And he talked to us, and I didn't watch soaps growing up. I didn't really know who he was. I'm gonna be honest, but I was like, oh, cool. A working actor, so I took everything he said in, but at the time he had a different haircut, and when I booked this role, I didn't put two and two together. That was the actor that came into my acting class years before and talked to us, and then one of my acting friends hit me up, texted me, he was like, dude, you know that you just booked the role, that actor came in and talked to us.
So weird.
And it was just like, everything that happened with me booking this role really did feel like it was like meant to be, as cliche as that sounds. Everything lined up so perfectly. But yeah, I mean, so I knew who he was, obviously, because I had met him before, but I wasn't familiar with soap operas really, and I wasn't familiar with his work. And when I was, screen testing and everything, I made a point not to watch him, just because I did not want to copy his choices. I kind of wanted to find the character on my own. But once I booked the role, I obviously had to do research and find out about the history of him. And I did watch him just because I wanted to know what he did with the role, and I wanted to bring certain elements that he had to the role, but I also wanted to make it my own. So,
well, people know that people who are avid soap watchers know that recasting is always tough on a long-running show.
Yes.
Because sometimes the character needs to be on the show.
Yeah.
And that actor or whatever just can't be the same actor. So,
Exactly.
what have been some of the reactions you've been given out there since you've taken over the role?
It was, like you said, recast can be really hard, and people can be very critical because you fall in love with one actor playing the role, and they create the character and bring so much life to the role, and then another actor steps in, and it's like, whoa. Who is this guy? You know what I mean? I think, like I mentioned before, I think that it helped that there was such a long gap between the time that Scott Clifton was playing the character. It was 7 or 8 years since he's been on the show playing Dylan. So I think it was a little easier for the fans to, expand their imagination that, okay, Dylan is a new actor, but it's been 8 years. He's grown up a little bit. He's more mature now, so he would be slightly different. But so far the reaction's been amazing. I mean, I'd say 98% of the people have been very supportive and welcoming to me playing the role. So I could not have asked for a more welcoming experience playing Dylan.
Well, Ladine, you have a question for him?
What is your preparation like when it comes to like memorizing your lines?
Oh yeah.
Because as an actress, I always like to get into like knowing what other actors do.
Yeah. Well, being on a soap is definitely different than any other acting I've ever done. I mean, I give soap opera actors so much more credit than I did before I was on one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, sometimes they do have a stigma of being a little cheesy and rushed, and some of it's over dramatic. But the biggest thing that I've learned is it's not the actors. It's just the fact that it's so fast paced and there's so much dialogue, and because the story is repetitive at times, because they shoot. Because an episode airs every day, some of the storylines are drawn out, and that makes it cheesy sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not the actors. I mean, these actors, I've learned so much working with these actors. They are. It really is like being in a boot camp for acting, because you're just you get 80 pages a couple days before, you have to memorize it all, and you get one take. So it's like maybe
that's crazy.
Maybe you get 2 takes if you really mess up, or if a camera messes up. But. Yeah, I mean, it taught me a lot, and my memorization has definitely gotten better. I'll tell you that, because I was never one to be able to memorize lines. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I mean, I remember I used to have to memorize Shakespeare in some of my acting classes.
I love Shakespeare.
And I love Shakespeare too, but man, memorizing for me did not come easy. And this now, like I had an audition a few days ago, and I had to memorize like 5 pages, and I looked at it, and I read it, and I just knew it. You know what I mean? Like your brain, your
muscles working now.
Everybody said that. They were like, "It's a muscle. Don't freak out." Because I'm not gonna lie, when my first couple days of being on set, I was like, "Holy shit! How the hell am I gonna remember all this?" But your brain just kind of clicks in after a few weeks.
Carolyn Topol from Facebook. Well, it's a good lead-in. She want to know: did you find it more or less challenging to meet the pace of soap opera versus TV and film?
It's way more challenging.
It is way more challenging.
But once you get used to it, I prefer it now, because it's almost like you're doing theater. You know what I mean? Because I love theater so much, because once you have all the lines down, it's like the scene just goes. There's no stopping. You don't have to reposition the cameras every 5 seconds. You do the whole play, and then it's done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is so great, because you can live this character for an hour and a half, and you don't have to stop, start. And that's kind of like a soap opera. Even though it moves so fast, it's so cool, because once you are on set, they have all the cameras in place at once.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a camera for the wide shot, a camera for the one shot, a camera for the other actor's one shot, all at one time.
Yeah.
So you just get to do the scene, and it's so cool.
So that's like the main reason why they only do 1 take, because they have
they've got it all planned out ahead of time.
There you go, Eric. Eric Wave. He asked that question. Why 1 take?
Lacretia, what would you have?
Yeah, and I mean, they've got so much to film that they don't have time to do 3 takes. You
have a question for him?
Yeah. So this is going to be a funny one, guys. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. But so Steve Burton, who used to play Jason, and then Sean Cannon, who was AJ. They were both in Playgirl magazine. I don't know if you guys are aware. It's not in publication anymore, but it is a nude magazine.
I did not know that.
I know. I was like, are you going to follow in their footsteps?
While they were on General Hospital?
Yes, while they were on General Hospital, yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
How did they get the okay for that?
I know. I'm like, Monica was probably so ashamed. Both her boys doing nudity.
I can't imagine the conversation going to the producer. So, I'm gonna be naked in this magazine. I mean, I don't have any immediate plans to be in Playgirl, but you never know what the future holds.
All right.
Well,
My publicist is like, absolutely not.
do it all. But so this is a good segue because Marissa, can you start? I have some pictures I want to show you, and I want to talk about them.
Okay.
Because like that one there, you can look right there. That one there.
Oh yeah.
And who are some of these photographers? Some of these
God,
pictures.
I look so much cooler in that.
These are such interesting pictures.
It's like you look like Prince.
I know you
That's
do.
cool.
I know. And that one.
Yeah.
I was so in love with that picture.
That's a great picture of you.
Are you auditioning for Doctor Strange? They're making a movie, so.
Yeah, Willy Wonka in the chocolate.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And then that sweater. I love that sweater. Look at hair. You're working that hair.
Yeah. Took a lot of hairspray to get it to stand up. This photographer is amazing.
There's one more. That one. I love the back. Look like clouds back there. Like, how did they get that?
She's the boss.
It almost looks fake. The background. That's literally that's a real. We were on top of a skyscraper over in downtown LA, and that's what it looked like. And this photographer I worked with, her Instagram is at the toppings, and she is just phenomenal.
They're just. They are phenomenal pictures, and they're also You're giving us, serving us different looks that we don't see obviously as Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing about like finally being a working actor and having a consistent job where I don't have to work, waiting tables, bartending, valet parking cars, dog sitting, Ubering. You name it, I have worked it. But the coolest thing about just having this is like in my free time, I can now do all the creative stuff that I love. I get to work on my music. I get to do a cool creative shoot like that with a photographer that wants to work with me. I get to do some comedy sketch series. I have the time to actually be an artist full time now, and that's so cool because. I love Dylan and I love General Hospital, but I do want people to see that I have a lot of different sides to me and I want to do different things. So, yeah.
Joseph Weston on Facebook wants to know, which actor or actress makes you laugh while you're filming? Anybody do that?
Oh yeah. We have so much fun on set. I've gotten so close with everybody so fast. It is.
Who tries to crack you up while you're doing a scene?
Honestly, M. Rylan is pretty freaking funny. First of all, she's like
that's surprising.
She's like 3'5".
Yeah, she's tiny.
She puts on her high heels and she's still like only up to my nipple.
Oh my goodness.
No, she's just a little spitfire, you know what I mean? And she's just hilarious. She makes me laugh. Jane Elliott makes me laugh a lot.
Oh, Jane Elliott, okay.
Just because she's such a ball buster.
Yeah.
She had a scene the other day where she was having to text in a scene and the phone kept messing up and she was just like, "No, it's not working." she's just so funny. Yeah, so I'd probably say them two for right now, But
good question from Tracy Newen. How far in advance? I know Days shoots 5 months in advance. How does GH shoot?
5 months?
About 5 months, they do.
Oh, damn.
So there's we've had guests on our show who are like, I do the Days show also, and they're like, I can't talk about that. It happened.
Right.
Things are airing. It happened 5 months ago. Do you know how long the GH film?
It's about 4 to 5 weeks in advance.
4 to 5 weeks, okay.
Yeah, which I like that better, I think, because you at least kind of have an idea of what's going on. We could talk about those episodes, and I'll still know. 5 months ago, I have no idea.
Yeah, right. You're thinking, Okay, so that's
the turnaround is pretty quick with General Hospital. 4 or 5 weeks is about average, I think.
We're good, Ladine.
I noticed that the questions on Facebook. I noticed that Carolyn and I had the same question. Did you audition for any other soap operas?
Oh, okay.
And did you audition for any other parts on GH other than?
I went in for Mark Teschner a couple years ago. I believe it was for the character of Morgan, which I just wasn't. I just wasn't right for him. At the time, I didn't believe that. I was pissed. But
you see Brian Craig now, you're like, okay, I
get it. No, I went in. I think I was a little young, and my hair was longer and shaggier, and I just wasn't. And I don't think I was as polished of an actor at the time. Interesting. I think I needed a couple more years to really get out there and work on stuff, and figure out what I wanted to do. But I went in for Mark, and it went well. We had a good rapport and everything. And then when this role originally came up, I believe it was like a year and a half ago, and I got another audition. My manager sent me in, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I get to see Mark again." And then this role was just it was a fake character name at the time. It was like Dustin or something. And I guess the writers
so GH.
So GH.
I guess the writers decided to put the character on hold. They decided not to bring Dylan back yet, so I didn't know what was going on. And almost a year went by before I got a call back.
Oh my goodness!
So it was a long process, but well worth the wait, I have to say.
I'm trying to remember. Did you have scenes with Wally Kurth as Ned? I think.
Have I had scenes yet?
Yeah, you did. You did. Did you or before? No, I don't think you did.
I don't think I have had.
Yeah, I think he came in right as Ned left.
Yeah.
Ned left, and that's why I came.
That's what we thought. That's what I was having with him. Yeah, he's on days right now. But I mean, he came back for a minute to shoot with Olivia.
That was so mean.
That was so mean. That was mean.
I love
but
Wally.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's your brother. So,
Yeah.
So hopefully get back on it so you can work with him for a minute too. Lacretia, anything?
Actually, Sarah C has a great question because I know, we do this all the time in any job, not just like entertainment. But are there any initiation pranks for the new guy at GH? Yeah,
initiation pranks, man. There should be. I wish. Kirsten Storms was actually mentioning the other day that she was gonna start pulling some dressing room pranks.
Oh, that sounds like
So
fun.
I don't know what she has in mind, but I feel like I might be a target for that. But no, I feel like I'm more of a prankster sometimes. I feel like I might prank somebody soon.
Start it.
Now that I'm getting a little more comfortable.
All right, you've been there a while.
I didn't want to push the envelope too much at first. But
Sharon Townsend wants to know, because you are a great singer. I've seen some of your little videos you put out on
my little Funky Friday.
Yes, I love it. So do you have any aspirations to work on an album? Or
I would love to.
Okay, so you do have that.
Yeah,
okay.
Music's always been a passion. I just haven't, like when you're trying to be an actor, you got to go balls to the wall.
No, that's true. That's true.
I've just really been focusing on auditioning and acting, and music has helped me book acting roles, but I've never really thought about it as like a separate career thing.
Okay.
But man, I have loved doing these little covers on YouTube, and they've had a really good, people have been following them, and I feel like my voice is getting better. And yes, absolutely, I'd love to do an album and be on Broadway and all that shit.
I know it's a little last week. Can you do a little something for us? For the fans out there. I know it's like I'll use some honey sticks. I mean, just something. Get ready.
Honey sticks. Let me drink my water.
Just a little something. If you can, a little something for the fans out there.
You like Michael Bublé?
Of course.
Oh, I love Michael Bublé.
Of course.
Another summer day has come and gone away in Paris and Rome, and I wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, I may be surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone, and I wanna go home. Let me go home. I'm just too far from where you are. I wanna go home.
Wow.
That is actually my favorite Michael Bublé song. And being from the South too, I know you mentioned it to me earlier. Can you do the Blake Shelton version of that song? Give me some country. Yeah.
Put a little twang on it.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Michael, she's like Michael's version is better than
Thank you, Blake. Of course it is. I love my Canadians, and Blake's an Okie.
That's Marissa, our engineer producer. That's so funny. That was very good. Thank you for doing that. Our fans they're loving it. They're saying Nurses Ball 2016.
Yes. I'm in.
You're in. You got to sing.
I want to.
I love it. So where are you from?
I'm originally from North Carolina, a little town called Salisbury. Then I lived in Winston-Salem for a while. Okay. Then I lived in Richmond, Virginia for a while.
Oh, good old Richmond.
Yeah.
I know Richmond.
You do?
I do. I used to do conferences in Richmond, Midlothian area.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. My dad actually lives over in Midlothian right now.
Oh, there you go.
And then I have family now. They're all kind of spread out. Now a lot of my family's in Raleigh, North Carolina, Midlothian, Richmond, Virginia, and then I have a sister in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So.
Oh, Florida!
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. You have another question from Ladine?
I do. I was thinking with all of the drama, that's going on between Lulu and you, and do you look at relationships differently, in real life?
Good question.
That is a good question. Damn. Throwing a doozy.
I know, Ladine.
I mean. Yeah, definitely. I think, soap opera relationships are definitely exaggerated a little bit and heightened a little bit. But, there's definitely stuff to think about, especially with all of the stuff that Lulu is facing with her marriage right now. It definitely kind of scares me for a marriage. I'm not going to lie. It definitely makes you question, ooh, am I ready for a marriage? There's a lot of trust that has to go into, making a marriage last. And I can see, Lulu and Dante's, the situation that happened, I could see how something like that could happen, So it's definitely scary. Yeah, it definitely makes me think. All of the storylines in the show make me think about life.
Real life.
Yeah.
Can you in that camera say to Brandy Hellman, happy birthday, Brandy?
Happy Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Brandy Hellman.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Everyone wants to know, because this question has come up. I had it as a question. Everybody else had it as a question. Anthony Geary. Go.
Anthony Geary. I mean, he's freaking Anthony Geary.
He's in Amsterdam now, just like relaxing, I'm sure.
He's just chilling, hanging out in Amsterdam. Good for him. He deserves it.
How was it? I mean, you come on this show, you get to work with him.
I know.
As he's leaving.
Talk about throwing a new actor into the fire. Like, the first scene was with Jane Elliott and Anthony Geary.
Oh, my God.
It was just like, oh, all right. This is happening. They were great. Like, they made me feel, like I said before, Jane Elliott made me feel right at home right away. And then I didn't actually meet Anthony Geary until I was up on the soundstage on set.
Okay.
And I was like coming in, and they were about to start shooting, and he got up from the couch and he walked over and he shook my hand and he was like, he was like, good to meet you. I'm Anthony. And I was like, I know who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
But you are? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. But of course I acted like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm Rob. No, but it was really cool. I mean, he's such a sweetheart, and I had a few just moments back, in the dressing room and in the makeup room with him where he just was kind of telling me about his experience, and he said, he's another one that when he says something to you, you take it to heart because he's just so full of knowledge, and he's been around for so long. And I just remember he was like, you're good. He was like, so if there's days where you you're feeling discouraged because you don't have as many lines as the day before, or if your story is kind of put on the back burner, just get through it, suffer through it because you're good, and just stick it out. And I was like, oh man, like, you are the man. Mic drop. Like, he's just like the godfather of the show. Like, he's cool. Yeah.
And he's speaking the truth. I mean, he knows it. I mean, he knows it. He's been through every regime of General Hospital as well, so he knows how the ebb and flow can go.
Ebbs and flows. Yes. Yes.
So how long have you been acting?
I started as a little kid, I was such a ham. I was always trying to I was the kid in the family that was like trying to get my little sister to put on a show for the family.
Oh, how funny. Okay.
But officially, first play that I did was freshman year of high school. And then I was hooked. Right after that, I auditioned for a Center for the Arts high school, and I got accepted. And since then, that's what I've been pursuing, really hardcore. So, I'd say 14, since I was 14.
Wow. What keeps you going in this crazy business, as we all know it can be?
Well, now what keeps me going is the fact that I'm working. That's pretty cool.
Every day.
Yeah. Gratitude, right? Gratitude right there.
Yeah, seriously. What keeps me going, though, is just being around. I've got a great group of friends that keep me grounded. They're super supportive. My family is super supportive. And, I'm not going to lie. I had some moments out here when I was auditioning and not getting the role, and my car was breaking down on the side of the interstate. I was living in my car for a while.
Wow. Yeah.
I had some moments where I was really like, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean? Like, how long can I hold on? But there wasn't anything else. Like, it was one of those things. It wasn't like an option. Like, I was like, I have to be an actor. Like, this is what I want. This is all I want. And thank God it's paying off. It's just a start. It's a foot in the door, but it's a huge start. And I could not. And I think I look back now and I'm like, all those struggles, I appreciate the job so much more because of those, and I don't take it for granted. So, and I know there's so many actors that would love to have the opportunity I have, and there's a lot of actors that have been auditioning twice as long as I have that haven't gotten a role as big as I got. So I'm just grateful.
And you lucked out because I met Mark Teschner. I know Mark Teschner, and I actually interviewed him, and he is just one of the sweetest guys in the business.
He is.
And been doing it for 30 years. I mean, he's been doing GH for a long time, and I remember him telling me that if you do really well and you catch his attention, he'll remember you. That's what's kind of funny. And you're proof of that he was like...
I don't know how he remembers all those people, but I guess that's why he stands above a lot of other people. That's why he's so great at what he does. I mean, how many Emmys does he have?
I know, right. All right.
I walked into his office. That's not intimidating. You walk into his office to audition, and he's got like 10 Emmys on the wall, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. No, he does. He's got an eye for talent, and he can sense an essence in somebody to play a character. I think that's the biggest thing. He tries to fight against the soap opera stereotypes in acting. He wants real and he wants natural, and that was his biggest note to me when I was auditioning. He was like, I don't want you to act at all. He was like, "Stop acting completely. Talk to me." And
wow.
and I learned a lot from that too. Because I was like, "You're so right," you know.
Because isn't it about listening and talking and listening, acting a lot of times, being in the moment, being
Yeah, a
present.
lot of times we feel like we have to show that we're feeling something. But a lot of times when you're talking to somebody, you're not showing that stuff. You know what I mean? You're thinking it, and you're feeling it, but you don't need to show it all. So yeah, he's the man. I mean, he gave me a shot, and I will always be grateful to him.
And so are we, because we like Mark Chesner, and we like this guy over here. You have a question for him?
Oh, let's see. That's Tracy Newman here asks, if you weren't an actor, what else would you be
There
doing?
you go.
Just about that.
Yeah.
There you
I think
go.
I'd
Not bad.
probably be a singer.
There you go. Right.
Which is just as stable a career, right?
Exactly.
No, I would find something in the entertainment field, whether it was singing, writing, directing, doing comedy. You know, I'd be just as broke probably. Or no.
Like
but,
us,
you know,
We know how it is. We know how it is.
some type of entertainment job. You know, it's what I love. So
It's one of those things I've heard, the saying that if you don't wake up craving to do it, then you shouldn't be doing it, right?
No,
like that's. I
totally.
mean, and he's kind of busy. Like we do hosting and acting, producing, and I do radio. And it's like if you're not, this is a business not easy.
yeah.
It's almost set up for you to not make it.
Oh yeah, totally.
So you're winning because you're just because you're in it, because you wake up every day and you do it.
Duh, winning.
You're winning. You're winning. And it's like you're winning because every day you wake up, you still enjoy it, and you're still putting your foot forward.
Yeah.
that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Is there a question over there?
No, I was just looking on Twitter the other day, and I seen something about November 21st, tickets, dinner.
Yes.
What's that about? I want to know what's that about. I need to know where these tickets are.
Yes. I'm glad
I
you
was doing
brought
some
that up.
Oh, look at Ladine's like, come on.
So November 21st in Astoria, New York, we'll be doing William DeVry and myself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll be doing a dinner in New York that night. And
Will he wear a shirt?
New York.
shirts might come off because apparently that's what William DeVry
Hello.
does.
Yeah, he never wears his clothes on GH.
So I have a feeling I'll probably end up having to take my shirt off too, which I'm happy to do. If you spend the money to come to dinner with us, I'll
Okay.
take my shirt off.
That's right, kids. That's right.
How much that?
So
Got to fly to New York.
and then the next day, November 22nd, we're doing a bigger event with a bunch of the actors. That's going to be in Boston, and you can buy tickets to that. And then coming up in April, we're going to be in New Jersey doing a big General Hospital fantasy event as well. So there's a bunch of stuff on. You can find all the tickets and information online. I think soapfantasyevents.com.
That sounds familiar. Soapfantasyevents.com. Yeah.
So, what's going on in LA?
What's going on? I know. we just had the big the big General Hospital fan event.
Yeah, we just missed it. Yeah, we
a
just
couple months
missed it.
ago. Yeah.
Our show is new. We just started a few months ago, so we missed out on
That's
that.
every year, and we'll probably have something closer to like springtime, summertime.
Yes.
I'll let you know.
See, he'll let us know. He'll let us know.
Okay.
We're all connected on Twitter, so let us know. Amanda wants to know: is there anything you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Career-wise, acting-wise,
She's
in
like,
life.
I want to say career-wise because we're talking about your career. I'm thinking career-wise, are some things that you.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I don't even. I feel stupid even saying stuff like this because I'm so happy to just be on General Hospital. I'm really trying to just soak this in right now because it's so amazing. But of course, I think about the future, and like we talked about already, I'd love to do more stuff with music. Maybe make an album. Maybe do something with Broadway. And in life, in general, I think I'd like to travel more.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of the world I haven't seen, and I'd like to get out there and see some of it.
We're like, Mel was like, I think we need to start a Ladine Quartermain hashtag now. A Ladine Quartermain.
Oh my goodness.
After tonight. I love
Ladine, who are you? Kiki over there?
it. Ladine Corinthos, Ladine Quartermain. What's going on?
Can I just be both?
Can be both. Of course, you can be both.
Like hyphenated.
Hyphenated.
You can do that.
I love that. What is some advice that you were given that has given early in your career that served you well still?
Some advice that I was given that served me well so far, especially towards this business, I think would be relationships. I think that.
Okay.
I mean, I think you guys know this in the entertainment world in general. There's a lot of talented people, but if you don't stay in touch with people and you don't when you're talking to somebody, if you don't put your best self forward and keep in touch with people, you know what I mean? Which is easy to do now because we got Jesus.
Everything.
How many social media? Too many ways.
Yeah, I know. At this point, yeah.
But I think that's a key thing because when I was first auditioning, I didn't necessarily keep track of all the casting directors I would go in to see, or what types of roles I was going in for and stuff. And I got smarter as the years went on, and I was like, okay, they like me. They've called me in a few times. Let me keep track of them. Actually, Mark Teschner, when I noticed I was getting called in for multiple things for him, I was thinking to myself, all right, this guy likes me. I like him. What can I do to keep this relationship strong? So I did a workshop with him. I did a 3-week workshop with him. And that's when he remembered me in his class. He looked at me and he was like, didn't you do this scene? Because he had somebody do the scene that I auditioned for.
Wow.
And he was like, you read for this, right? I was going to call you back. And I was like, yeah, you did. I was like, you did say you were going to call me back.
I'm
still waiting, man. What's going on? And he was like, it's still on hold, man. And that ended up being the role that 6 months later he called me back in. So things like that, I've learned a lot. And then again, I mean, from my family, biggest advice they gave me was just don't give up. Like, don't compromise. If you want something, go for it. There's so many people I know, artistic people, that want to pursue something in the arts and they don't have the support, and it makes me sad because, it's a very risky business to make a living in. So the fact that I had a family that was like, no, dude, this is what you're meant to do and you're going to do it is crazy, because I don't think I would have had the strength on my own to do it, so those two
arts are just as important as politics and law and everything else, and health. I mean, it's very important stuff.
Totally.
To our society and culture. I mean, I really believe that.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? If we didn't have an escape with music and with TV.
Exactly.
If we didn't have an escape from all the craziness in our lives, I know I could not get through the day.
Same here. So, Ladine, you say yes or no there?
This is an awesome question that Carolyn asked. For theater roles, would you aim for musicals or plays? I think that's awesome.
So you can't sing.
Yeah, I mean, I love singing, so I think musicals incorporate. So, and I actually did 6 years of hip hop dance. I'm actually a dancer, which I haven't.
Oh my God!
Not many people.
Where's that video? Where are those videos?
we are working on some stuff. But yeah, not many people know that either. So I love all that. I played Danny Zuko in Grease, and, and that was probably one of my favorite stage things. Even though it's it's overdone, everybody's been in Grease, but it was so much fun. I mean, so probably musicals. There's so many different elements to a musical.
Yeah. There's also funny musicals. There's serious musicals. Yeah. I mean, you go from family opera to like the producers. I mean, you can do all kinds of things in between. You have a question, lady? Totally. I mean, Lacretia?
Yeah, actually. I know, and I look more like Ladine, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Carolyn actually asked another really good question, because I've done some weird stuff out here, too. Nothing illegal. But, yeah, what was the strangest job you had before you got consistent acting?
I don't even know. I don't even know if I can repeat this. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No. Let's see. I was a greeter at Abercrombie.
Were you really? Did you with no shirt on and anything? You did that?
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Did you feel like a piece of meat?
Oh yeah.
It feels really weird. It'd be so weird.
I did
weird.
that.
It's not weird. It's not good.
I worked at a Pinkberry yogurt shop.
Oh really? Okay.
I lived in a mansion in the hills, which sounds really cool.
Okay.
But I was a dog sitter for these 3 huskies.
That's what I have.
They were really cool dogs. That was fun. Until they shed everywhere, and then I had to clean all that up. That was weird. I mean, you name it, I've worked it, but I've had some weird jobs for sure. Yes. Yeah,
the Abercrombie and Fitch one. I always just see those guys all the time. Like, I feel bad for. I feel bad. Having to stand out there and then you smell the cologne coming out as you come by. They get you to come in. Yeah. I'm coming in. I can't wear anything. That's crazy.
It's a waft of what is that cologne called? Fierce or something?
Yeah, or something. I forgot what it was.
It was a lot. I would leave just drenched. Like, it smells good, but not when you're covered in it, head to toe.
Do you ever meet other upcoming aspiring? Now that you are a name now and you are on a soap, people come up to you and ask you for advice. And do you give like bits of advice?
Yeah,
And what are some of the things you would give?
This is all so new to me. For me to even say that I'm a name now, just like
You are. You're right.
it's so weird. Like I don't think of myself like that, but thank you. I'll take it. I mean, honestly, it's only started happening within the past few weeks that I've been out in public and people have started recognizing me. And it's always funny the people that recognize me, because it's not the people I've expected. You know what I mean? Like I was at a bar the other night and the bouncer was like this macho 45-year-old guy, and I was going. I went to. He was like, "Let me see your ID," and I was like, "Here you go, yeah, man." And he was like, "Wait a minute, ain't you Dylan Quartermain?" And I was like, yeah, dude, you watch it? And he was like, yeah, bro, I've been watching that for 33 years. And I was like, do you still need to see my ID? He was like, nah, you good. And then like these little like 21-year-old teeny bopper girls recognized me at the grocery store the other day, and I was so it's interesting that now, people have started to recognize me. People, as far as like people asking me advice and stuff on Twitter, usually where they've asked me. And I mean, I've been trying to respond to everybody, and I apologize if I haven't responded to you. It does get overwhelming at times to respond to everybody. I'm only one guy. It's not personal. I try. But yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to give anybody any advice, because I wouldn't have gotten to where I've gotten if I hadn't listened to other people's advice, so.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's funny because I found that soap fans range. They really do range. And it's not just the little old lady from Minnesota or from Kansas who's like watching, or the young mothers. Like it is. I've had big giant rednecks say, "Oh my God, they're just so great." I'm like, okay. And they've been watching. They said they've been watching it for like 30, 40 years.
And they are loyal.
I mean, loyal.
I mean, people. What I've found is people either don't watch soaps at all, or they watch soaps, which is so cool because they really are dedicated to it. They know all the history. They know all the storylines. But yeah, it's been pretty awesome. I definitely had to stay on top of my research, because if I didn't know the history and all the storylines, I knew I'd get in trouble by the fans.
Well, that's what my questions actually. What my question is. Well, I was going to ask you, who filled you in on some of the history, or did you do it all on your own? Like, am I going to set tell you, okay, Dylan, you did this with Lulu, and I mean,
yeah. I mean, I definitely when I found out that the character I was going to be playing, because I didn't know I was playing Dylan Quartermain until I actually booked it. They called my manager. They said, okay, so Robert got the role. By the way, it's not Dustin. It's Dylan Quartermain. So my manager called me. So right away I Googled him, looked him up, Wikipedia, all that crap. And then, I kind of developed the character on my own a little bit, and then I watched some of Scott Clifton's stuff, like I said. So I did kind of know some of the backstory, and I found as much as I could online. But when I got on set, actually, one of the writers, Elizabeth, she's on the team of the writers, and she is so knowledgeable. And anytime I have a question with one of the scripts, I go up to her office and I go, so who is this character related to this guy? Who is my mom's sister's dog's friend's fiance's ex? And she breaks it down for me. So she's been helpful. And then I'll talk to the other actors too, and they'll fill me in on stuff.
That's funny. I saw on which I follow you on several social. We follow each other on several social media. You weren't feeling a little too well. You had all this fan mail and stuff. That's so great. So I didn't know fan mail still happened.
I know people write letters still. It still happens.
It still happens.
It was really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
They'll send it. A lot of the fans have been sending stuff. They'll send it to the General Hospital office, and then I guess the office will kind of wait a couple weeks to gather enough of it, and then they'll drop it off to our dressing rooms. But yeah, I got that. I was feeling kind of under the weather a couple of days ago. I had a little cold. And I showed up to my dressing room, and there was a big pile of fan. So thank you for that, guys. That was
fans.
Very nice.
That's great. Jen Ruggs wants to know from Twitter, because it's coming up, you guys. It's almost Thanksgiving. Have you heard of the traditional Quartermain Thanksgiving?
Quartermania, right?
Quartermania, exactly.
I have. I've heard a little bit about it. I've heard it's pretty crazy. I'm excited to experience my first one. I'm a little nervous because obviously there's going to be some wild shenanigans that goes on.
Yes.
We have not filmed that. We're filming that stuff this week.
Oh, fun. You brought that up. Oh, fun.
So it's going to be cool. We're shooting a lot this week, actually. So we're doing all of the Thanksgiving stuff.
Okay.
The only thing I can say is I know I'll be wearing a tux. I don't know how that's gonna.
You guys heard it here first. The spotlight on.
I don't know how that's gonna play into the story, but yeah,
you're wearing a tux, you guys.
You might get pizza grease on.
The pizza's on Thanksgiving.
Sure something bad will happen with the tux. I don't know.
But a tux, interessante. That's going on there. Any questions, ladies?
I would like to step away from career for a moment. This is like a two-part question. Do you have a leading lady in your life right now?
A leading. I like how she words that.
I know leading lady. I think she worded that too.
Very cinematic of you. You know, I was in a very, very serious relationship a couple years ago, and we dated for like 5 years. And when we didn't work out, I just decided to put all my eggs into the career and my acting, focus on that, and that's what I've done, and it's been paying off, I guess. So as of right now, I am single. I've gone on a couple dates over the past few months, but you know, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship right now, but I'm also trying to stay open to what life brings at me, and we'll see.
Right.
So no, I do not.
Okay. So would you rather date inside of the industry or just have a regular girl, whatever that means?
That's a very good question. I think one of the reasons so many actors date each other, you know, you see like, you know, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and, you know, end up together is just because it is such a weird, different lifestyle, you know, and the scheduling is so weird. So I think it's nice to have somebody that kind of understands how crazy your life is. And I think that's why so many actors date each other. And I think when you're working on something with another actor, you have to form this chemistry together. So it's natural to kind of fall in love with each other.
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes I daydream about, just meeting like a chick that's a doctor.
There you go.
Or, you know, I don't know, something else. It'd be nice if she was somehow involved in the arts in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Just because
so that you still have that little...
You know what I mean? Like that creative energy between each other, you know? Even if she was a lawyer, but she choreographed on the side or something. I need
Go in L.A., you know, the hyphenate they call it in L.A., where we're like, hi, I run a business, but I'm also, you know, I do radio. Everybody has a side hustle going on.
Everybody's got something on the side. Totally. So I don't know. I don't want to say I'll never date an actress or I'll never not date an actress because, you know, then I feel like you're just closing yourself off to love. But we'll see. There's pros and cons to both, I think.
Okay.
Sarah C. wants to know any embarrassing moments on the set.
There was one day, actually it was the episode you guys were talking about where, the episode where Paul, my dad, and Tracy are talking about hooking up, basically.
That's such a great episode. Such a great episode.
Yeah. That day, for some reason, I was having trouble remembering my lines. I don't know what was going on. I've been pretty good so far about, you know, being on set and having my lines down, but for some reason that day I was just in my head and I was kind of freezing up, and that wasn't. I mean, nobody made me feel embarrassed. Everybody was like, "Dude, you're doing great. It's fine." Everybody has a day where they screw up.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was embarrassed because I want to be the guy that's super prepared. But Jane Elliott looked me in the eye and she was like, "You're freaking out. Calm down. Take a breath. You know it." So that calmed me down for sure. But no, as far as like peeing myself or tripping and falling, that hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it will though.
Walking out with your fly open, things like that.
Something like that.
I worked on a set. I did an episode of House years ago.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And, I did. And there was one where actually I sneeze coughed.
Oh, that's good.
Right after they said action.
Did a booger come out?
No, but it made a noise. My voice, as you can tell, is deep already. It made a noise that everyone started busting because it happened right after they said action. I made this weird noise. And Hugh Laurie turns around, the lead of the show is like, "James." I'm like, sorry. Now I started laughing.
Yes.
Just me in the corner. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It was kind of funny. That was kind of an embarrassing thing, but it made fun of me.
That's good, though.
Yeah, funny. Well, I'm just so glad you came to join us.
Are you kidding me?
And you spent the last couple of hours with us.
It was great.
We totally appreciate
I had
that.
so much fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
We really do think you are Dylan.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Seriously.
Seriously. And even more so now. We're like, you're not yet, but before we were like, that's Dylan. And that's very rare for a recast.
Well, thank
for
you.
us. And then we all agree.
That means a lot. And y'all have been watching the show and you're loyal, so I take that to heart.
And you're welcome back anytime.
I'll be here tomorrow.
I'm like, on Sundays we shoot the show. You just walk on in. Just bring a Dunkin' Donuts, walk on in, whatever. You're welcome to come eat.
But I have to bring Dunkin' Donuts.
The next time, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Dunkin' specifically. No fills, no
Noah's bagels, no that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It has to be Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts. Got it.
I run on Dunkin'.
You run on Dunkin', that's right. Well, thank you for being with us, Robert Palmer Watkins.
Thank you so much, guys.
We totally appreciate you guys. So where can they find you and all that good stuff? Talk to that camera there.
All right, so my Twitter handle is Robert P. Watkins, and my Instagram handle is Robert Palmer Watkins, and that's where you can find my Funk It Friday song covers that I post every Friday, and I try to post stuff from set and keep it entertaining.
You do.
Sorry if I post too many pictures of myself.
You need a Snapchat.
Oh God, I know.
Yes.
You start periscoping too.
I can't keep up.
Even
I know
I'm
it's
not
hard.
doing that
I know you're
yet.
not doing it. I do all of it. I do all of it. But you got to do it too. You got to do it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But thank you, Lacretia.
My name is Ladine.
Oh my God.
And you can find me on Twitter at Ladine_Harvey. And you can find me on Instagram at Ladine Harvey. And Facebook, Ladine Harvey.
And it's like, I know I'm white, but Lacretia is my name, and it's LACRETIALYON, and that's on everything but Periscope. Yeah.
But Periscope.
Nice.
And of course, you can find me on Instagram at LBlackHope, on Twitter, BlackHopeLA, and James Lott Jr. on Facebook. Please go ahead and check out our other Spotlight Ons. We have a whole bunch of people in the industry we do these for on AfterBuzzTV.com or on the YouTube channel here that you see. Please like us, rate us, go on iTunes. We can actually download it and listen to it. And like us and rate us on that one also, too. We appreciate all the comments. We love bringing these shows to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on our GH Report next Sunday, where we have Carolyn Hennessy coming on.
Yeah.
So it's maybe Diane
Great
Miller.
Carolyn Hennessy.
Yeah.
Diane Miller. Diane Miller on our show. Thank you very much.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Everybody say,
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.